Hi, welcome to SBR Forum Videos. I'm Peter Loshak. This is part 2 of Into the Weekend with BetDSI for College Football Week 14, NFL Week 13, the call we do every Thursday with Brent, the headlines manager at DSI. We just got finished discussing College Football Week 14. Now we're going to take a look at NFL Week 13. And Brent, the first thing I want to ask you about is there's two small road favorites both playing bad or dysfunctional teams. That's Cincinnati at San Diego and Carolina at Kansas City. And I have to assume that those are both big public sides on the side of the favorite. And I'm wondering if that's the case, if the Sharps have either joined the public on the favorites or taken the home dogs.
Yeah, it's interesting you mentioned both those teams, Peter. I mean, Carolina just not typically a team you would think of or associate with being a road favorite that you should be backing. And Cincinnati really isn't that way either. You've got Cincinnati going into San Diego and you know, any year you look at a game like this, you're thinking, okay, how many points is San Diego favored by? But the Cincinnati-San Diego game is definitely what we have as a public Sharp split. Now, surprisingly enough, Sharps are on San Diego, and it's not surprising maybe that the public has soured on San Diego and backing Cincinnati, of course. We've got a count of about 3-1 in favor of Cincinnati. Money's pretty much even. Just a whole lot of volume on Cincinnati from the public, and the Sharps have been taking San Diego +2 and +1.5.
Interesting. And then Carolina, KC, are the Sharps taking KC there?
The only sharp money I have involved in that game is the under 41.5, Peter. Line's 40.5 right now, but the under 41.5 was a sharp play. I've got a lot of teaser money, a lot of public money on Carolina. It counts about 3-1 in favor of them. And again, Kansas City it's really tough. I mean, how many points do you have to give for them to be attractive? And usually they're just not a side that anyone wants to get behind.
All right, so it sounds like Cincinnati and San Diego is going to be a decision game where the public's on Cincinnati and the Sharps and the books are also going to need San Diego. Is that correct?
That's correct, yeah. I mean, it wouldn't shock me with the Carolina game. You know, I wouldn't be surprised to see Sharps come in later on Kansas City. I mean, we saw it last week where you know, Denver didn't cover at Kansas City. They're the kind of team who can kind of cover or win ugly, and Carolina's not blowing anyone away, of course.
Right. Okay, and then there's two other games I wanted to ask you about, both involving marquee teams as a favorite of a little more than a touchdown. That's the Pats at Miami and the Vikings at Packers. I have to assume that both of those are big public sides, right?
Yeah, I mean, New England is always a public side, and the only situation where we have trouble is when the Sharps get behind them as well. Right. Now, typically when they're on the road like they are here, they're favored by a touchdown or more. You can attract sharp money on the other side, and that's exactly the situation of this game here, Peter. We do have a lot of public money on New England, sharp money on Miami +7.5, and you think, you know, your viewers might say, wow, if you got sharp money on Miami +7.5, why are we still 7.5? And it's just the fact that, well, everyone's still laying the 7.5 in terms of the public, so we're going to let them keep laying it. The count, just to give you an idea, is about 8-1 in favor of New England. The money's only about 2-1 in favor of the Patriots. So, I mean, you can easily take, you know, 10 bets from the public on New England and 1 bet from the Sharp and consider your chart balanced. So I expect we'll be evened up by the time we kick off on that one, Peter.
Okay, and then Vikings-Packers, is the same deal? Is the public all over the Packers and then the Sharps maybe limping in on the Vikings?
Not much. We're pretty much close in terms of the money we've taken on that game. The count's only about 2-1. I think Packers are kind of the team where historically, yeah, they would want to back them and have no problem laying 7.5. But you know, they've kind of been up and down Green Bay this year, so laying the 7.5, they're not really getting behind so far. I've taken bigger bets on Minnesota, but more bets on Green Bay, so we're pretty much balanced on that game.
Okay, and the Sharps haven't touched it much.
Not much, no.
Okay, and then is there any other notable action, big public action, or notable sharp public splits for the rest of the NFL Week 13 Sunday card?
Well, Miami again was a big sharp public split. We've got sharp money on Miami. Also have sharp money on Tennessee Titans. They're at home to Houston Texans. Now Texans are getting a lot of support, teased and parlayed and everything like that. Our count is about 10-1 in favor of Houston. Money's about 3-1 in favor of them. But we do have sharp money on Tennessee when the line was 6.5. So the Sharps came in and took the home dog, getting 6.5 there. And unfortunately, we got sharp money on Dallas. They're playing on Sunday night at home to Philadelphia. Now, Philadelphia's just looked terrible, but we had sharp money on Dallas -9. Now, the line's 10 right now. We basically went straight from 9 all the way to 10 to skip the 9.5 altogether. And public's come a little bit on Philadelphia, catching the double digits +10, but it was a sharp money on Dallas there, -9.
All right, so before we let you go, let's talk about teasers. It sounds like, of course, again, Dallas will be a big teaser team. Obviously, the Pats, and I'm assuming the Packers as well, are going to be big teaser teams also. Are you a little bit nervous about the teaser situation coming up?
Well, we always are a little bit nervous. I mean, again, it's the big parties just because of what they pay out, which hurt us more than anything. And when you talk about the big teasers, you really only have to bust one of them up. Last week we with Green Bay at New York Giants, that was kind of the game that everyone was hanging on. And you're looking at Green Bay. I mean, getting all those points in your teaser, how can they not cover? Well, they didn't cover, so that's how we survive and keep the lights going. This week, San Fran is a big teaser team.
Yeah,
again, you got Brent, the quarterback, so there's a lot of hype around San Francisco, even though they're on the road at a division rival. It's, people don't really care when the line on the game is 7, so you're teasing down to 1 or half a point. San Fran just has to win, so that's an attractive side for teaser players. Carolina's a teaser play. Chicago's a teaser play. They're at home to Seattle. And New England, of course, heavily teaser team. And Dallas, as you mentioned, Peter.
Right, and the Packers, no?
Packers, not so much. No, again, this game doesn't have as much volume in terms of the betting action as one might expect. Not yet, at least.
Great information once again, Brent from BetDSI. Thanks so much, and we will talk to you again next week.